So China, factory activity is diminishing a great deal. Remember, they have an energy crisis there, right? So we don't know all the details. It's communist China. We'll never know. The media can't report it. They'll get put in front of the firing squad. So they're not going to be able, we're not going to hear all the stuff. We're hearing what they're allowing us to hear. So we know they have an energy crisis. They've got an energy problem. They have a power problem, right? No energy, no power plants. So they're rationing electricity. This is hurting factory output. Now, the upside could be that it'll give the supply chain a breather to get caught up. The supply chain's not going to get caught up. So that's not a possibility. So the negative will be that someday, I would assume in the not too distant future, because I got to believe that China's out hustling any coal they can get. They may be even coming to America for coal or oil so that they can run their power plants. So they shot themselves in the foot because I don't know if you know the whole story. I've talked about it a little bit, but Australia about 4 or 5 months ago demanded an investigation on China and the labs and the COVID virus, how it happened, where it came from, what it's made of. Australia was demanding this investigation. Well, China didn't like that much. You're not supposed to do that. So China said, we're going to sanction you and punish you for that, and we're not going to import anything from you. Then here comes an energy crisis, and guess where they get, just a little bit of their coal? 100%, that's all, from Australia. That may be an exaggeration, might be 98. But they get the vast majority of their coal from Australia. And guess what? They sanctioned Australia. So they either have to lift the sanctions and say, I'm sorry, we didn't mean to do that. We sanctioned you, but, we're sorry about that. In the meantime, guess what Australia's doing? They are getting commitments from other countries to take their coal. So by the time the forgiving heart of President Xi gets around to forgiving Australia for demanding investigations because they need their coal, they won't have any coal to give them because they will already have committed China's coal to other countries. So China's factory activity is contracting a great deal, as you could expect. It is shrinking for the second month in a row. And it's going to shrink probably more this month than it did last month as this continues on. So if you were a manufacturer of T-shirts and you didn't pull your factory from China back when everybody was ranting and raving over Trump because Trump was forcing diversification by American manufacturers. He wasn't asking for it or demanding it, but he was forcing it by way of they had no choice but to go to Vietnam and Indonesia, those two places primarily. Some moved to South America and others. They're feeling pretty good about Trump right now because if it wasn't for him, they'd still be in China not getting anything, let alone a reduction, not just a reduction in their productivity. So that's going to hurt supply in general. But the other problem with it is if they create some supply, they got to get it shipped. Now, there are a lot of ships now changing course, going to Florida and maybe a couple other ports. I think Savannah, I believe, maybe ports, some of the East Coast ports, some of the West Coast shippers are, I don't know about the ones that are anchored off. I doubt that they're pulling anchor and going to reroute to Florida's West Coast or Louisiana, Mobile or Louisiana's ports. I doubt that they're doing that, but there are ships en route to the West Coast that are likely going to start going south and get ready to line up. And I would submit to you that by the end of next week or the week after, we will have a very long wait to get through the Panama Canal. So it is going to hurt California and New York City and North Jersey, the three most liberal ports in the country. It's going to hurt them a little bit, but it's going to help a whole lot of other ports and a lot of other workers. So that's going to be good. The upside, though, it's going to relieve somewhat of the bottleneck. But really, the reality of it probably will be, if too many start rerouting, there will be a bottleneck at all those ports as well, because we have 80,000 short in truck drivers. And I would imagine today that 80,000 is going to get a lot bigger as some of the companies are putting mandates in.
Hey, remember to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.tv. That's FISM.tv.